Hello, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because, well, we're tackling something that impacts so many of us. If you've ever woken up feeling a bit like the Tin Man before he found his oil can, we're just getting out of bed, walking down the stairs, or going for a casual stroll takes a massive amount of effort, you are completely in the right place. Joint pain can literally make everyday tasks feel like mountains to climb. But today, we're going to completely change that narrative. We are mapping out the golden path to healthy senior joints, using some incredibly effective, evidence-based habits.
Let's be honest for a second. Does every step feel like a challenge right now? It's so frustrating when your knees and hips, the literal hinges of your mobility, start protesting every single movement. I totally get it, and I want to validate that struggle. It is exhausting. But actually, scratch that. Let's pivot away from the frustration for a minute because I have some incredibly encouraging news. The source material we're digging into today proves that with the right daily habits, you absolutely can reduce this pain, improve your mobility, and stay independent for much, much longer. You really do have more control over this than you might think. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. We've grouped 7 simple source habits into 3 core pillars to put you on the golden path. We'll start with 1, facing daily joint pain. Then 2, master movement and muscles. Next up is 3, fuel your joint health, followed by 4, support and protect joints. And finally, 5, reclaiming your independence.
First up, facing daily joint pain. This is all about acknowledging the friction.
So before we can solve a problem, we have to properly frame it, right? What we've done for this explainer is map out 7 simple, highly effective habits. But before we get to those, we have to acknowledge the main villain here, joint wear and tear. We're talking about the accelerated stress and degradation on your knees and hips that makes those everyday activities feel so incredibly tough. And why does this matter? Well, if we don't actively work to prevent this specific wear and tear, we risk losing our ability to move freely. Mobility is freedom, guys. We want to halt that degradation right in its tracks so you can keep your autonomy. Let's move to and see how this builds in section 2, master movement and muscles. Think of this as the engine maintenance phase. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these 3 habits form an absolutely perfect daily routine. Your joints are essentially mechanical marvels, and just like a high-performance engine, they need a daily tune-up. Step 1 is a morning stretch. Doing this right when you wake up is crucial because it wakes up the joints, improves flexibility, and gets vital blood flow going to drastically reduce that stiff, rusty feeling. Step 2, chair exercises. These specifically target your thigh, hip, and core muscles, which are the main support structures. And finally, step 3 finishes it off with a safe, low-impact walk, or maybe a swim or a bike ride. So the crucial point is that this routine improves blood flow and stability without adding any harmful impact. To put that into perspective, every single time you take a step, your knees absorb a force equal to about 1.5 times your body weight. No way, right? But when you strengthen those surrounding muscles, they act like biological shock absorbers. They take all that massive pressure off the delicate joint itself. This means you gain stability and reduce pain, all without grinding down your cartilage. It's an incredibly efficient mechanical fix for your body. Moving right along to section 3, fuel your joint health. This is the fuel and pressure reduction phase. And this brilliantly illustrates the simple physics of it all. Extra body weight puts relentless, additional pressure straight onto your knee and hip joints. It's literally like an anvil accelerating wear, tear, and stress. But on the flip side, maintaining a healthy body weight acts as an immediate pressure release valve. Every single pound you manage is quite literally a weight off your joint's shoulders, providing immense physical relief. But it's not just about managing weight. It's about what the food actually does once it's inside you. Our source material highlights an absolute game changer of a habit, adding anti-inflammatory foods to your diet. We're talking about powerhouses like fish, walnuts, and leafy greens. These aren't just empty calories. Because they're packed with omega-3s, they act as active fuel that goes straight to work inside your body to reduce joint inflammation. By simply tossing these into your meals, you are actively supporting your long-term joint health from the inside out. Which brings us to section 4, support and protect joints. This is the armor and strategy phase. If you want to put armor on a vehicle, you start from the ground up, right? As our source points out, supportive, cushioned shoes help absorb shock and reduce strain on knees and hips with every step you take. Honestly, do not underestimate the power of proper footwear. Your shoes are your body's external shock absorbers. When you choose a pair with the right cushioning, you're literally putting a layer of armor between the hard ground and your delicate joint hinges. It's such a simple choice in the morning, but it minimizes strain all day long. But our strategy also means knowing when to call in the pros. Please, whatever you do, don't ignore persistent or chronic pain. Pain is basically your body's dashboard warning light flashing at you. The final habit from our source is ensuring you get regular checkups. Catching things like arthritis or joint degeneration early is absolutely huge because it opens the door to vastly better, more effective treatment options before any damage becomes irreversible. Be proactive with it.
And finally, Section 5, Reclaiming Your Independence, the Ultimate Reward.
We've covered a lot of ground today with these 7 habits, but why go through all this effort to stretch, tweak our diet, or swap out our shoes? Well, because healthy joints mean a more active, independent life. The real reward here isn't just experiencing less pain, though, let's be real, that is fantastic. The true prize is a vibrant, longer life where you get to dictate your own schedule. It's about walking in the park, playing with the grandkids, and staying entirely in control of your own mobility for as long as possible. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Which of these 7 habits will you start today to reclaim your tomorrow? You don't have to do all of them perfectly right this second, just pick one. Maybe it's that morning stretch, maybe tossing some walnuts on your salad, or maybe finally throwing out those worn-out sneakers. Any one of these can set you on that golden path today. Don't wait for the pain to dictate your life. Take action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit subscribe for even more senior health tips to help you move better and live better. Catch you next time.